Hi guys, it's Sophie. So I wanted to do a little book haul for you guys today and talk through a bit about my reading plans. Those of you that have been watching my videos lately will know that I've been reading the Women's Prize and the Dulac Prize. I thought I was only going to get to one, but I have managed to get to both. So I'll just show you what I've got on my list at the minute, what's come in recently, and then chat through what I think I'm going to do next. So I only got this one yesterday. It's my current read, The First Woman by Jennifer Nangsiba Mukumbi. And I'm really enjoying this one so far. It is like a kind of feminist coming of age story set in Uganda, and it's like full of folklore and yeah, it's very compelling. It's massive, like it is a big hefty book. I'm about 100 pages in, so probably like a quarter of the way through already, and that was just from reading it last night. This one is on the shortlist for the Dulac Prize, and it's the only one of the shortlist I haven't read yet, so really glad to have this one and be working my way through it. Then the next one I have is also from the Dulac Prize. This is What's Left of Me Is Yours. I saw that Simon had picked this up on his channel, which is exciting. Maybe I should message him and ask if we should buddy read this one. Though I expect I'll read it quicker just because the number of books I have. I've spoken about this one a couple times before, but just in case this is the first you've heard of it. This focuses on the concept of breaker-uppers in Japan, where you hire someone to come and try and convince your partner to cheat, because if they do cheat you can accelerate the divorce proceedings, potentially get more money, and it's kind of a way of like tempting your partner with the aim of them breaking up your relationship. This one was not shortlisted, but it was longlisted. And I'm excited to get into this one. It has slightly smaller text, which I think is why I picked up The First Woman first, and the fact that one was shortlisted, but I think this is probably going to be my next read. Then I was really kindly sent some books from Verso. Now I haven't accepted books for review probably for nearly a year, because life has been really busy and I only like accepting books for review if I feel like I'm going to read them in a timely manner. I've said no to a lot recently, but they reached out and it was a little bit too good to say no to, and I also am getting to the point where I only have like 5 weeks now until my exam week. So I'm getting towards the end and I felt like I could say yes, which is really exciting. You guys know I'm mega excited for reading post-study. And they're all on climate change, so actually before I go through the books, if you haven't watched it, I have a video recommending some of my favourite books on climate change. Verso are like a left-leaning publishing house and they publish lots of books on societal issues including climate change, so they reached out to see if I would be interested in some more non-fiction about climate change, and I was like yes, definitely. Okay, so the first one is called Planet on Fire, a manifesto for the age of environmental breakdown, and this one is written like post-COVID, which I thought was quite interesting. And it describes it as an urgent manifesto for a fundamental reimagining of the global economy. So I think that could be really good fun. I am not here for like COVID hot takes fictionally now at the minute, but I definitely am here for seeing like how COVID has changed the way that we operate as a global society and the impact it might have on wildlife, ecology. 100% here for that, so I think this is a really good one for me. And I think this might be one I pick up in between some of the others that I'm going to read for my next plans. We'll talk about that in a sec. So that is Planet on Fire. And the next one I have is How to Blow Up a Pipeline by Andreas Malm. I love the title. And this is like essentially a book, again I haven't read it, but essentially a book that is saying like, okay, we've tried the nicely climate action, people don't seem to be listening, and it is empowering kind of further action. It describes it as moving from the forests of Germany to Extinction Rebellion actions in London to the deserts of Iraq, offering us an incisive discussion of the politics and ethics of pacifism and violence, democracy and social change, strategy and tactics, and a movement compelled by the heart and mind. Here is how we fight on a world on fire. Yeah. Exciting, definitely up there too. I like that these both are fairly short reads, like fairly snappy non-fiction, and yeah, I think they'll be good to feed in between stuff. Okay, the next one is like a double hitter. It is called White Skin, Black Fuel and it is described as the first study of the far right's role in the climate crisis, presenting an eye-opening sweep of novel political constellation, revealing deep historical roots. Fossil fuel technology were born steeped in racism. So we're going to talk about racism and like climate change, activism in this one. This is a much bigger book, just so you can kind of see. It's 550 pages long. So I think this one is probably more going to be post-exam, when maybe it's like nice and sunny and I can sit in the garden and really get into it. But yeah, this intersection of interests should be good. So I'm really pleased to be able to have had those books for review, because I am really interested in them and I also really like them as a publishing house. So yeah, let me know if any of those sound interesting to you, because I'm excited for all three. And then the last book that I bought recently is The Dangers of Sleeping in Bed by Mariana Enriquez, and this is the first book that I bought from the Man Booker International Prize longlist. So I'm going to try and read at least the shortlist, or like the shortlist plus the books I really like the sound of from the Man Booker. I'm a bit late, like the Man Bookers run so fast. If you don't like follow prizes to like any great detail, the period between the long list, the shortlist and the winner is really condensed for the Booker. Normally for like other prizes you get like 6 weeks maybe even longer, maybe like a month, a couple months, but the Booker just feels really condensed every time. Like I haven't read any of them and it didn't even come out that long ago, but this is the first one. I love this cover. I'm just gonna let you admire that a little bit. Yes, so I know that this is Mexican horror-y gothic stuff, so let me read you the little description. It says, "Welcome to Buenos Aires." We're not in Mexico. "Welcome to Buenos Aires," I was wrong. "A place of nightmares and twisted imaginings, where missing children come back to the dead and unearthed bones carry terrible curses. These brilliant, unsettling tales of revenge, witchcraft, fetishes, disappearances and urban madness spill over with women and girls whose dark inclinations will lead them over the edge." So very much up my tree, I would say. It looks like short stories, which is exciting. I haven't let myself, this is the only one because I saw the cover and I was like, I need it. I don't even know what's inside it, but I need this book. I haven't let myself read about any of the Man Booker books yet. I have them on like a little sheet of the books I'm planning on getting to, but my like rule to myself was I couldn't get excited about too many things at once. So I finished the Women's Prize. I haven't read The Golden Rule, which I've spoken about, my reasons why, back along if you're interested. And I haven't read Consent because I haven't heard anyone that's loved it. I've had a few people say it's fine and it doesn't draw me in, so I'm just leaving that one. So I finished the Women's Prize long list, and when I read these two I will have finished the Dulac Prize. So basically once these two books are finished and I've read them, then I can go full on like exploring the Man Booker stuff, and reading other bits, and then it'll be the Booker in the summer before we know it. Yeah, so I just wanted to share a little bit about like what my plans were. I am planning on going to the Booker after this, for at least some of them, and I am planning on taking some more review copies, which is really exciting. I think as much as I know I've read for the past year, I feel like it's not completely fair for me to take loads of review copies if I know I'm reading a lot less and I know I might not get to them for a long time. I don't get paid for, I've never been paid for like any reviews, any YouTube content, like it's literally just like YouTube ads, but I still feel like there's some mutuality of like obligation to be talking about the books and sharing them in a timely manner, so I only say yes when I really want to read them, and I only say yes when I have time. But we're at that stage of my life, very nearly. Yeah, that was what I wanted to chat through today. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that you've all been able to enjoy bookshops. I haven't been able to go yet, but it's only been like 5 days. But I'm maybe going to go tomorrow and buy some Man Booker books, so I might do a little bit of research tonight, but we'll see. It all depends on life and what else we need to do tomorrow, but I'd really like to. Yeah, I'll see you guys again soon in my next video, and look after yourselves. Until then, bye!